Ah, crap. Oh, wait. All right, everybody. Welcome to Raging Idiot Racing Network tonight. Dega for Sunday night. Dega Pros action followed by the MSS Money Racing Series. Right now, driver's already out on track. As a little bit of a late delay here, so I'm trying to get it all settled. Should be fun. A little bit more cars tonight than what there was last night. Danny Barnes on track. Danny Barnes should be the one posting the first lap, followed by James Waring, Michael Wingo, Garrett Caswell. Right now we'll look at Danny Burns, who gets ready to start his first qualifying lap here. Of course, new logo in action. Finally got my logos to work. Thank you to Joshua McCullough for presenting me my logo tonight. Maybe look a little bit more professional. Of course, Danny Barnes trying to get back to victory lane. Believe it was last Sunday. No, this last Wednesday. Danny Barnes able to go to victory lane here at Talladega in his benefit race. Help support him and his family during a situation happening. And at the line, he will post the first lap. 55.144. James Waring will be the next one to try to knock him off. Waring now at the line. And he does successfully at a 55.098. Michael Wingo. Wingo run third. Garrett Caswell back across the line here at the stripe. Caswell goes P3. Kenneth McCullough, I believe he's the next one to not tired. He is not. He's on his warm-up lap. It might be Richard Elliott that's about to come to the line. Well, while we wait somebody else to try and knock the time down, Casey Sprinkle top of the board. Hunter Hastings a little bit in the grass. That might actually hurt his qualifying lap. At the line, we'll see. P5, and he jumps the car. All right, now here comes Kenneth McCullough. This time will be the lap to post. At the line, does it not Casey Sprinkle off the pole? He does not. P3 for McCullough. Richard Elliott up next. He'll go P6. The 18 of Steve Sizemore on track. Right now, Steve Sizemore looks like to be the first one to take another attempt. Matthew Lee, Joshua McCullough, Ambrose Knievel, Steve Sizemore, William Rice, and about 2 or 3 others yet to make a qualifying attempt with 15 seconds. However, Sizemore will be the last one. He might not even get this lap in. 9 seconds to get to the start-finish line. And he will not get there. 3, 2, 1. It might give him time. Nope. Casey Sprinkle on pole. It was become a theme here on the Raging Idiot Racing Network. Oh, that being said, We do not have Casey Sprinkle up here in the. We don't have Casey Sprinkle up here in the Discord, so probably won't be able to interview him. I'll wait for some drivers to load in. We can get, well, when he loads in, we can get the outside pole sitter, and there he is. James Ware and Gary Jenkins up here in the booth. You got a copy?
Hey Gary, how are you doing?
I'm doing all right. I know this is becoming a habit of interviewing you before the start, but what's the plan tonight? Is there anything different from how it starts, or are you just looking just to survive for right now?
Today has been going. If I could just get out of here without a wreck, I'll be doing all right.
Been one of them days, huh?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Dang. Well, buddy, that kind of.
But at least put up one of my fastest qualifying laps, so
Yes, sir.
some shining moments.
Yes, sir. Starting second next to the man that always seems every time I go live, he always seems to take the pole. Is Casey Sprinkle. Yeah, we saw that. Real quick, you're very familiar to the trucks. Do you expect? Because yesterday we saw the outside lane not being as useful as what it normally is. Do you think now we're back in the trucks that'll change tonight?
Yeah, the track temperature a little bit cooler, so hopefully we can get something going out here. I got Mr. Barnes, who's been doing very well lately. Hopefully he can give me a push to the front.
All right, buddy. Well, best of luck to you. We'll see how it goes. Jay Warren starting second.
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir. So real quick before they go green, we're going to pull up the starting grid for tonight's race. Of course, should be just a quick 40 laps. No harm, no foul. A little bit bigger field than what we had last night. We'll run through the grid here. Casey Sprinkle on pole. James Waring starting second. Kenneth McCullough starting P3. Danny Burns, P4. Garrett Caswell. We'll round out the top five. Richard Elliott, Hunter Hastings, Michael Wingo. The 64, Joey Masowicz, and John Ward. That will be the top 10. The 90, and Daniel Eberhardt and Matt Lee rounds out the Fast 12. Joshua McCullough, Steve Sizemore, and Ambrose Knievel and William Rice. That rounds out the field of 16, as I'm not in this race. Still to come to MSS Money Racing League. Still to come at 10 o'clock tonight. But should be good. Casey Sprinkle and Jane Waring brings them down to the starting line. Quick 40 laps underway. We're rolling. A lot of driver. Richard Elliott not even going on the start. Nobody got going. Not sure what's the issue here. Okay, so a little bit of a confusion here. So while we were waiting to get word here, try to figure out what's going on. Well, it looks like we're getting up to speed now. Not sure what the start was, but either way, Casey Sprinkle on the bottom lane. Jay Warren trying to take it with Denny Burns behind him. Richard Elliott, Garrett Caswell, both trucks up high and down low in the third lane. Michael Wingo, Hunter Hasty now. Right now, outside lane, trying to really make up for what they did last night. It was a very... Oh, wait a second. There we go. I was wondering where the truck audio was at. My mistake. Now that we can hear everybody. James Waring leads lap one. There right now, the bottom lane already hooked up pretty well. Only Denny Burns, Richard Elliott, Michael Wingo. That's the only ones in the outside lane. However, holding strong as right now, Casey trying to push the back of Larry, trying to get the 13 back clear. Quick 40 laps, no harm, no foul. Everybody right now trying to mind their P's and Q's for the moment. Still that outside lane holding strong with the three trucks they have, but Larry now was clear for the moment. Now back to the outside. Danny Burns trying to get the lead here. And at the line. Give it to Danny Burns, but only by barely. And Richard Elliott now trying to push that 7 clear. We saw last night different cars. We understand, but the outside lane really struggled last night in trying to make anything happen. Down the back straightaway now. Barnes still side by side with the 13 of Waring. Of course, right now, nobody really wanting to push the issue or nothing like that. But right now, only 15 trucks on the track, so decent sized field and average, what we will see on an average here on the Raging Idiot Racing Network. And right now at the line, no surprise, Sprinkle now back up to the front, however, does not get that lap. As James Waring actually will lead his second lap tonight, but Waring now starting to fall back a little bit. That's Kenneth McCullough now to the back bumper, the 59 of Casey Sprinkle. Garrett Caswell, third truck in line with Ambrose Caneva right behind him. Waring now still trying to push. He's at top of the show. He's going to hope Danny Burns be able to push him good. Right now, that outside lane now starting to get more trucks formed up. Steve Sizemore and John Ward joining the outside lane as we come down to 36 laps to go. Sprinkle up to the top. Don't know if that was by design or if he got a bad push up there, but Sprinkle to cover Waring now. Sprinkle officially leads his first laps of the night. A little tight there. James Waring almost pinched the 17 and Gary Caswell down. They keep it straight. No hard, no foul. Kenneth McCullough now going for the lead down the back straightaway. Of course, McCullough, no stranger, last night was close to winning it. Well, had a shot at winning last night in the MSS race and blew an engine, which set us into overtime. McCullough looking for retribution tonight for that. But right now, Kenneth McCullough getting pushed by Garrett Caswell in the 17. At the line though, Casey Sprinkle now. Oh, where it gets turned, Sprinkle hard into the wall. McCullough's around. Another truck sliding to the bottom. Richard Elliott, one of them. Casey Sprinkle, massive damage. Well, my. What a dramatic turn of events. Well, we know the 13's involved in it somewhere. Let's go back and look here, see what we see. Waring the tri-oval here, Waring. Well, at that point, a little all over the place. Hard to say if he just got loose or if the truck. Hard to say what happened. You see Richard Elliott upside down. Hard to say what really happened to make that truck change so abruptly. We'll look at it in slow motion here. Actually, Pause. I want to ride on board the cockpit and see what happens here. Right, we're gonna run right on the roll bar here. Let's go slow and see what happens here. So I'm zigzagging off of 4. Looks to the outside. Don't know what happened. Just immediately the truck just gets loose from under, and the way he turns the wheel back to the right whenever he starts going to the left tells me that truck either didn't like the position that it was in and it got loose, or maybe a possible net cut. It's hard to say with that incident, but damn well looks like wearing got loose. And then they all scatter. Let's see what Keith McCullough saw through this. Well, that's live on Pit Stops here. Several drivers fixing damage involving that. We'll see what Keith McCullough saw. We'll ride on board with him. What a wild ride for the 03. And we'll go live here. Pretty sure this league is not offering fast repairs, so possibly Casey Sprinkles and Keith McCullough's day is done. Okay, it works for them. So a shocking turn of events here tonight. Caution out already early as Casey Sprinkle and Keith McCullough involved in an incident. So is Richard Elliott, but he is on track at the moment. We'll see if we can't get. Well, me and I can't interview any of the other ones. We'll see if Keith McCullough or what Richard Elliott sustaining that damage. Richard Elliott, Garrett Jenkins, you got me, buddy?
Yes, sir.
Well, buddy, hate to say it, but not the way you wanted to start this race. First question is the truck too hurt? We saw you get on your side during the replay. How is the toe knocked out or anything like that?
Showed 30 seconds of damage, and I fixed it. So we'll see.
All right, buddy. Well,
Feels all right.
Feels all right. Still looks all right. I'm a big fan of the patriotic look. That 02 Brains, very nice piece, and I hate to see it get wrecked every time.
Yeah,
but,
me too.
Yeah. All right, buddy. Well, best of luck to you. Just want to check in, see what the damage was and all that, but it looks like you'll still be competitive.
Yes, sir. Thanks.
Yes, sir. That was Richard Elliott. Right now, Elliott being shown in the 10th position at the moment. That being said, new faces up front. Michael Wingo and Ambrose Knievel did not pit when the other drivers took it on the one to go. That will be your front two. 64 and the 92. That will be rows 3 and 4. Danny Burns, Matt Lee, 5th and 6th. Hunter Hastings, Joshua McCullough, 7th and 8th. Garrett Caswell, Richard Elliott. That is your top 10. We look for the one to go here, or the going back to green here, I should say. Right now, Kevin McCullough back out on the racetrack. So evidently, there weren't all that much damage to the 03. Casey Sprinkle, however, the night's probably done. With a driver for the 59 who always wanted the front runners here for HGR Dega Pros. Unfortunately, tonight will not be the night that Casey Sprinkle wanted as we get set to go back to green here. Everybody chose the bottom. Ambrose Knievel gonna have his work cut out for him as we get set here. Michael Wingo brings them to the United Rentals restart zone, and we are rolling. Knievel doing everything he can to make that outside lane work. Right now to 64 Joey Masowitz to his outside. But right now, them two trucks are going to be hard to really see what they can do. As I say that, Joshua McCullough, Garrett Caswell jumps out of line down the back straightaway this time. McCullough and Caswell making it 3 wide early. 3 by 3, 2 rows deep for the lead. Joshua McCullough downstairs and to the bottom of the track to cover Michael Wingo. A little bit of contact between Knievel, more contact. Knievel and Wingo. Knievel and Wingo. A little bit of contact there. No harm, no foul. Does kind of hurt that bottom lane. Ambrose Knievel at the line trying to lead his first laps of the race tonight. Garrett Caswell steals it. Caswell leads his first official laps of the race with him. Caswell wearing on that third lane trying to make something happen. Gonna be 30 to go next time by. Has a little bit of net code there. Net code of contact with Joshua McCullough. Up the track, blends back in. And Ambrose Knievel now with the 64 of Joey John War, Steve Sizemore as that outside lane has completely fell apart. Joshua McCullough jumps up. However, Garrett Caswell tried to cover the 13. A little late in doing so. They're 3 by 3, only barely battled for the moment as here comes the 64 Joey Masowitz looking to try to lead the night. He will get it. 64 leads his second lap of the race. And they're wrecking again. Garrett Caswell's in that. James Waring got a piece of it. No caution, surprisingly. There it is. We're under caution for the second time tonight. James Waring's car stuck up against the fence. The night is done for James Waring. As he said at the top of the show, it has been a day he wants to forget, been involved in a wreck all day in each race. Massive damage to the 13. We'll go ahead and review what happened here. That's where Waring's already against the wall. Let's see what happens here. Caswell trying to get lined up, and Waring comes down, almost similar to what happened in the first wreck. Comes down on Knievel. And from there, just barely, I mean, another 3 inches, and Garrett Caswell has it clear, if that, but just barely contact, hard into the wall, and questionable damage to the 17. The whole right side of that car. Let's see if we cannot get a visual of that right side. Massive damage, but hard to say if there's any suspension damage to it. Well, let's ask him here momentarily. So a night done early for James Waring, Garrett Caswell. I mean, you can look at it and see that. So towed in just a little bit. Big hit to James Waring. See if we can't get an interview with Garrett Caswell real quick. Garrett Caswell, Garrett Jenkins up here in the booth. Yeah, I copy, buddy.
Yeah, I got you.
Well, buddy, another 3 inches and you had it clear. First off, can you tell us how bad it is? We saw the big lick to the right front of Waring's truck.
6 minutes as of now.
6 minutes, or any way of just fixing it as the race goes on and trying to get back competitive, or is it done for the night?
Oh, that's the plan. I don't know. Hopefully we can get a couple more. If if we get a couple more, I probably can go back competitive. But for now, I'm just gonna try and stay in the draft or see how it goes. Cause I don't know, luck's not on my side this race. I reckon.
Yes, sir, buddy. Well, hopefully luck turns around for you tonight. But right now, best of luck to you. Hopefully we can see it out there at the front again.
Yep. Thank you.
Yep. Well, that was one side of the conversation. Let's see if we can't get the other side to it. James Warren, buddy, you got a copy. The bad luck continues from what it sounds like. And just take us through what happened there. Really, on both incidents through the travel, and the first one just looked like the truck got loose from our side of things. And then tonight,
On the first incident, I have no idea what happened. It's like all of a sudden the truck just took a left-hand turn.
yeah, that's what we
And
saw.
I tried to save it before hitting anybody, but that didn't work out too well. And the second one, I was following the 17, and he went all the way down. I didn't realize Ambrose was there, and that was on me.
Well, buddy, is there any chance we can see the truck get back out there and turn some more laps, or is the night done?
Nope, I am dead.
All right, buddy. Well, look, best of luck to you. You plan on running MSS later tonight, or is this?
I don't know. I got. I don't know yet.
All right, buddy. Well, for now, the day is done for James Waring. Appreciate your time, buddy.
Yep.
Damn, Ambrose Knievel getting some time. What a re-racket here. But there was been a very chaotic start to this event. John Ward, Ambrose Knievel is your leader. John Ward second, Hunter Hastings third, Danny Barnes fourth, Michael Wingo will round out your top five. Steve Sizemore, Kenneth McCullough Jr. is trying to play catch up after being involved in our first incident of the night. He'll be restarting seventh. Richard Elliott in eighth, Joey Masowicz in ninth, and Joshua McCullough runs out your top 10. Some drivers playing catch up here. Garrett Caswell, one of them, just off of 4. Everybody's still trying to get caught up. The 26 laps to go. Has been a wild start. 27, I'll say. It's going to be 26 when we take the green here. Been a wild start to this event already. Of course, Ambrose Knievel led a lot during the Danny Burrs benefit race. Unfortunately, that race too also went awry. Knievel been trying to. I ain't really heard a lot out of him since we started covering all these races, but it's just going to be interesting to see how he rebounds here. Been up front in every race the last 2 or 3 times. Going to see if he can pull it together and get him a win tonight. John Ward always a threat to his outside, supporting new colors. As we bring it down to the restart here, 26 to go. When we take the line, we're rolling. Great start from the bottom lane, but look at the run. Hunter Hastings giving the 92 at John Ward. Hastings shooting Ward like he was out of a cannon. Almost has him clear for the moment. Actually does. Ward clear for the moment. But now, Knievel now back to the bottom. Getting pushed by Danny Burns, Steve Sizemore, Richard Elliott. In the 69 of Joey Masowicz behind him. That's the bottom lane. Still the outside lane. A great run. Knievel tried to go up his side drive. Weren't able to do it. Michael Wingo now pulling that outside lane. John Ward, we look at the far chase cam. We'll go back to the TV camera. Ward now down the front straightaway after what was a great push by Hastings. Hastings Ward has not led a lap tonight. That being said, John Ward now will take it. You see Ambrose Knievel back up to the top side of the racetrack, getting pushed by Michael Wingo, Kenneth McCullough, Richard Elliott trying to make something happen. A little bit of contact between the 04 and the 44. An aggressive form of side drafting down the back straightaway. 25 laps to go. Ambrose Knievel now side by side almost with Ward. But now Ward back to cover both lanes. Well, it's been a very wild start to the race tonight. James Weir and Casey Sprinkles out of the race. Their nights is done for this race at least. Right now, you got to wonder, one of these drivers, are they going to anticipate potentially another green flag pit stop, or are we just going all out to the end? Down the back straightaway, Wingo and Knievel and Kenneth McCullough trying to make something happen. A couple drivers, Garrett Caswell out on the racetrack. I should want to get a dashboard up on him, see what his fast speed is right now. You're looking at Garrett Caswell. Right now, 184, 186. The car does not seem to be hurt too bad, aerodynamically wise. I'm actually impressed the way that car was. The way that car looked like how much damage it was. I'm surprised that 17's got as much speed as it does, but now, let's jump up to the 69. So yeah, about the same pace. So the speed is there. Can't fully rule out the aero effect of it from Garrett Caswell's car. We'll have to see how it plays out for the foreseeable future. Right now, Garrett Caswell still not out of it. So about 2 or 3 drivers, like I said, have not been out of it. That's been involved in a wreck. Kenneth McCullough, one of them, he was involved in that first incident. Had some significant damage to that 03, is now still in contention. Richard Elliott was upside down nearly at one point. He's running back there in that little group. Of course, Garrett Caswell involved in our last incident. Right now, Richard Elliott just ran a fastest lap of a 50.92. 22 to go. The intensity has kind of settled down just for a little bit. Still 2x2, 3-row feet. John Ward's continued to lead since the restart. Of course, now he is tied for the most laps led at 4 with Ambrose Knievel at the line. John Ward now leads the most laps so far tonight. Here comes Michael Wingo with another run, trying to make something happen. Outside lane, really not able to really make nothing happen. But watch this run here. We'll see how great the run is down the back straightaway. Watch that 25 on the outside lane. Up to Hastings. Up next to Ward, but being that there ain't as many cars up there to run in that middle lane can get is not as strong because the majority of the drivers are to the bottom. So they give up about as much as they lose. Of course, John Ward, no surprise into being up front. For those of you that watch several HGR events, you know that he's always a favorite, and right now a favorite as ever to win this one. Several drivers actually in contention that you see from HGR. Hunter Hastings, Michael Wingo, Steve Sizemore, just to name a few. And down the back straightaway, still in 3 trucks trying everything they can to make something happen. But with 20 to go, they're either banking on another pit stop, they're either banking on a pit stop or just trying to play it safe. Well, Joshua McCullough jumps up to Ford truck on the outside lane, that number 14. That kind of will kind of help the middle lane here as McCullough thinking about taking it 3 wide. He does. Nobody goes winning for the moment. It's just that just amazed me how that 17 of Caswell's trucks, they would just stay. It's just how it's able to stay in the draft. Is now 3 wide for the first time in about 10 laps. Both the McCulloughs, father and son, working that outside lane. Steve Sizemore jumps up with them. Wingo stuck 3 wide, will probably go backwards. For Michael Wingo, that's not what you want to see as Sizemore now drops back down to the bottom. Maybe to aid Wingo just a little bit, but still it's not really working out for neither middle or top lane as everybody's still stuck to the bottom. John Ward. Ward still up front, now led 8 laps so far tonight. Hunter Hastings been glued to his back bumper since the last restart. Danny Burns trying to work his way back into the front. Burns has led 1 lap tonight. He looked to lead 1 more than be on the last lap. Right now, Michael Wingo outside lane, still not giving up, side by side, still 2 by 2, 4 rows deep. Right now, this is the point where everybody's like, all right, we've had 2 cautions. Let's just try to settle down here. Let it roll it out. The possibility of another pit stop is not completely out of the question either. Look at the pit length. The stint these drivers have been running, a lot of them came in on the 1 to go under that last caution and try to squeeze a little bit more. There's either another pit stop coming or they got just enough to make it. 1 of the 2. See, right now everybody's on a 10 to 11 lap stint, I should say. It'll be interesting to see how it all works out. See, right now Steve Sizemore's jumped up, trying to lead that outside lane. Right now, nothing to happen. Michael Wingo trying to get caught back up to the outside lane with Sizemore and Kenneth or McCullough. Meanwhile, Ward now still leading with 16 to go. 16 of Ambrose Evil in the pits. You see him there. Pull up that pit strategy one more time. We'll see. Okay, so Knievel's going about as far as he can, which is about 17 laps. So potentially, pit stops might be coming up in about somewhere around 10 to go. 10 to 7 to go here. It's going to be fun to see. But for right now, we just sit here, run 2 by 2 for the moment. 15 to go. Yeah, these guys are good on field, and at some point, people's going to start making moves that they don't normally make early in the race. See Ambrose Knievel now coming back out. 1 lap down, the only truck one. Dad's going to try to quickly blend in behind Richard Elliott. And that could be a strategy call by Knievel. No pit now. You're about out of gas. Go to pit now. You're 1 down. Try to circle back around and get back with the lead draft on the lead lap. If not, leapfrog the field. But for now, several drivers jumped up, and now we're even. Both lanes even for the moment. But right now, Ward able to hold them off. Hunter Hastings with another push to the back of the 92. Steve Sizemore's coming with a run again. This is what you want to see. If you're that outside lane, the more trucks you have, you should be able to get better runs down the back straightaway. Look at it here. Oh, Wingo's getting turned. Wingo up and over. Gary Caswell's in it. Man, oh man. It ain't just Gary Caswell. There's about 4 or 5 more back there that got involved. Good gosh almighty. Works out great for Ambrose Knievel. Oh, works out awesomely. Let's go ahead and take a look and see what happened here. Ain't much to see. One truck going upside down. Look at here, coming off of turn 2 now, down the back straightaway. A little bit of a miss. 99 getting lined up in there, and Michael Wingo goes for one of the wildest rides down the Talladega back straightaway. Garrett Caswell, you saw him just get clipped. He was involved in that. Let's ride on board when Michael Wingo through this. They just a little bit of a miscue, really. That's what it boils down to. They're rolling. See, there's the contact from Garrett Caswell. Let's actually look at it from his side of things here. He just got slammed. Nowhere to go. Bounces the truck off the inside wall. And then gets tagged again. Left side about as now tore up as what the right side is on that truck. So back live here, most of the trucks come in. You're looking at the very damaged truck of Garrett Caswell's. Not been the night that he wanted. Getting a look off of the race off pit road. The Hunter Hastings out, John Ward out. Race off pit road is going to give it to John Ward. Or not John Ward, but Hunter Hastings. My fault. Can't get Michael Wingo. Michael Wingo, Garrett Jenkins up in the booth. You got a copy?
I got you, buddy.
Well, buddy, first off, glad to see you were released from the care center after a wild ride. Take us through. Do you feel like that you kind of got misaligned with the 90 there? Or do you feel like he tried to occupy a gap that wasn't there? What was your take on things?
Well, here's the deal. It's plain and simple. When I wake up in the morning, I piss excellence, and that was not my fault. I'm just I think he pushed me a little hard. He was trying to get to that hole.
Yeah,
but I think I'll be all right. I can't believe it didn't total me out.
I can't believe he did not either, especially after that hit from Caswell. Garrett Caswell been up and down the ringer tonight. But yeah, man, I'm surprised you're rolling. Does the truck feel off? Have you got any damage fixed, and what's left on it?
Yeah, I had like a minute damage, so I got it down to like 19 seconds and took off, so I should be fine.
And they call this a simulator.
But any other time I'd have probably been in a medevac headed to the hospital.
Yeah, exactly. All right, buddy. Well, look forward to seeing how the truck handles the rest of the race. Best of luck to you. You've led 2 laps tonight, so hopefully you can lead some more.
All right, buddy.
Yep.
Thank you.
Michael Wingo. Looks to rejoin the field. Biggest movers of the race since the pit stop. Steve Sizemore up 11. John Ward up 6. John Ward up 8. Hunter Hastings up 6 spots from where they started. $11 to go. Going to be 10 whenever they take the line. Appreciate everybody taking time out there Sunday to stop by and watch the Dega Pros run tonight. Still to come later tonight, the MSS Money Racing Series. So we're not done after this one. So the rear racket, Hunter Hastings, John Ward, Steve Sizemore, Joshua McCullough, and Danny Burns. That is your top 5. Richard Elliott, he's had an up and down night, but has fought his way back up into the top 10. Trying to get himself back into the top 5. Michael Wingo definitely not out of this. They got 244s, I believe. One of them. Matthew Lee. See drivers on the apron trying to save fuel, I believe. I'm pretty sure they'll all have enough to get them to the end. Maybe not enough for a green, white checkered, but enough to get them to the end. As Hunter Hastings and John Ward brings them down here for the restart. Going to be 10 laps to go when we take the green. We're rolling. Great jump by Hastings, about as good as what you can ask for, but just not enough for that to be able to clear the outside lane. Here comes John Ward with a big head of steam. Ward again pushed by Danny Barnes, Richard Elliott, Matthew Lee. That is the 4 on the outside lane. Hunter Hastings, Steve Sizemore, Joshua McCullough on the bottom for now. Here comes Michael Wingo and Joey Masowitz. Ward now edge ahead just for a moment, but Hunter now right back to the bottom. Ironic how Hunter Hastings pushed John Ward for all those laps, and now Ward trying to get back around him. Oh, Ward's loose. Ward and hard into the wall. John Ward hard into the wall. Massive damage to that right side. No caution for now. Hunter Hastings now trying to cover that bottom. Joshua McCullough now trying to make something happen on that outside lane. Yeah, that really kind of hurt the outside lane a little bit. Now the majority is back to the bottom of the track. It's anybody's race for the steal. Right now, McCullough out front for another. John Ward has towed back to the pits. The day is done for the 92. Side by side, coming to 8 to go. Hastings on the bottom. McCullough on the outside lane. Still believe that the bottom's going to be heavily favored here, being in the outside lane. Not able to get that run down the back straightaway like we're normally seeing. And right now, seeing at 90, he's jumped up to that outside lane. Gonna try to help that outside run. Now John McCullough's clear. As I just said, the outside lane not able to get the run off for 2 like they wanted. McCullough gets it big enough to clear. Joshua McCullough's only led 1 lap tonight. That was the previous lap. Hard to believe coming from the driver to 14, but right now McCullough with 7 to go trying to make something happen. And here comes Richard Elliott trying to lead his first lap of the race. Oh, McCullough a little bit sideways. They keep it straight. That really hurt that bottom lane. Elliott now to cover. Danny Barnes trying to make something happen. Top 3 have only led 1 lap tonight. This is the first time that we've seen them drivers able to get up there and really compete for the lead instead of just riding down the back straightaway. Another great shove by the from the 14 to the back of the 02. Does Hastings or McCullough jump up, try to pull that outside lane back together? John Ward's led the most laps tonight of 13, but he is out of this race. McCullough and Hastings both said, yeah, we'll jump up there. Put that outside lane back under. Hastings cuts back down to the bottom. Hunter Hastings wanting to win this one bad. A big shove to the 14 from the 7. Able to get McCullough now drop right back down to the bottom, and now we're at a stalemate once again. Down the back straightaway, 6 to go. Going to be 5 next time. Now look at it, outside lane. Had the most cars for the moment. Now you see Michael Wingo drop back down to the bottom. Anybody now, it's to the point of the race, anybody's trying to figure out, what can I do if I'm part of this 8 to 10 car pack? What can I do? Steve Sizemore running in 10th. He's probably thinking the same thing. Sizemore dominant a lot of the times, but not able to put it together. Joshua McCullough now leads. Came up to cover the outside lane just enough to stall Denny Barnes out. And then drops right back down to the bottom. Well, it's about to be on now. 5 to go. See, Sizemore went way up to the top of the track, right back down to the bottom. Drivers now starting to get in. See a couple below the double yellow line. Pushers are going to start becoming more aggressive. People are going to start putting trucks where they don't want them. Normally they don't want them to go, but anything to get into a paying position here. Earn a little bit of money to start the week. Four to go. If you're Danny Barnes or Keith McCullough, you're probably thinking to yourself, man, I'm stuck on the outside, can't get to the bottom. Who can I trust to go with me in that third lane and potentially try to make something happen? Anyway, outside lane still to keep the run coming. McCullough back down to the bottom. Right now, this is what Joshua wants. He wants to be able to control both lanes, jump up and block the run from the outside lane, immediately jump back down and block anything coming from the bottom. This is what McCullough wants. He wants to be clear. Right now, Danny Barnes not allowing it to happen. Barnes out front momentarily, almost momentarily clear. Barnes down to the bottom. He'll take it. 3 to go. Danny Barnes leads his second lap of the race. Here comes Keith McCullough. Right now, in a 90 of Daniel Earnhardt third, pushing McCullough. McCullough. Kenneth McCullough that would be, as Joshua McCullough now has been cycled back to the bottom lane, second truck in line. After Jess leading. Now we'll see how Danny Barnes handles the pressure of leading out front. Right now, Barnes, if he really wanted to, he can control both lanes, jump right back up there. There he does. He does it actually. Wants to get that run off of 4, potentially wants to set it up down off of 2. Be able to control again. Right now, Josh McCullough to his inside. 2 laps to go for the Dega Pros Sunday night race at Talladega. 3 drivers just ran all their fastest laps of the race. Richard Elliott, however, just ran the fastest out of 49.78. Down the back straightaway, Danny Burns takes the run, utilize it right now. Clear for, Burns gets turned off the Bubba McCullough. Danny Burns gets turned. No caution, we keep it straight. Well, we don't keep it straight, but no caution nonetheless. Father and son leading 1-2, Keith McCullough, Joshua McCullough. Barnes is rolling, but is done for this race. White flag. 1 to go. Here comes the 90 of Daniel. Storming up the outside lane with Matthew Lee and Steve Sizemore. A great run so far. Oh, Hastings is turned. They save it. Kept it straight. We stay green for the moment. Still trying to wreck back there. Still keeping it straight. Dale Earnhardt. Matthew Lee, Steve Sizemore. It's going to be settled between these 3 unless the McCulloughs can get back to them. Off of 4. Nobody making a move yet. Lee jumps outside with Steve Sizemore. I left Daniel being a sitting duck for the moment, but that might help the McCulloughs get here. Matthew Lee at the line. Steve Sizemore drops to the bottom at the line. Matthew Lee by inches. The driver, the 04, gets it done. 04/44 by inches. Let's see, we can't get him in here. Let him get his thoughts real quick. See if he'll do a burnout. What a run. We'll just see how close it is for the moment. Sizemore gave it everything he had. But at the line, Wingo upside down. That. See if we can get the start and finish cam on this. Second straight night of side-by-side finish. That is the gap. Matthew Lee, Garrett Jenkins up here in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you, Gus.
Well, buddy. Whew, only by inches, buddy. Did you anticipate that coming whenever you saw Sizemore get cleared to 90?
Yeah, I was just hoping Steve would stay with me long enough when I made the move on Daniel there to beat Steve to the line if he did make a move, which just barely held him off there. That was a good finish.
Yes, sir. We're looking at it now as a hell of a finish. One for the record books and one for the photo finish books. Off and on, it seemed like intensity would get up. There'd be a couple cautions, then everybody dive back down. At what point did you feel like it was go time?
About 5 to go. I waited till about 5 to go to really make a push to the front. Up till then, just too much chaos going on.
Well, buddy, first off, congratulations on your win tonight. Again, by inches. First time interviewing. First off, nice to meet you, by the way. But
Yeah, you too, man.
first time interviewing you. I like to take the time. I know people's got friends, family, sponsors, and bosses that watch this stuff. So I like to give the drivers I interview time to thank their sponsors, their friends, their family, God, even if they want to. So as of right now, buddy, the floor is yours to thank anybody you feel like you need to.
Yeah, I just want to thank you guys for putting on the broadcast, Ford putting on the race. Blanchardstown for all they do. Small town up here in Clinton, Maine. Ain't much going on. Yeah, family, obviously. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir, buddy. Congratulations
Cheers,
again.
boys.
How you say what, buddy?
I said cheers, boys.
Yes, sir. Well, congratulations on your win again. Again, only by inches, buddy. Look forward to seeing you more as the weeks go on. That was Matthew Lee, the winner tonight. I do have a request to pull in. Casey Sprinkle, Garrett Jenkins, you got a copy?
Yeah, man.
Well, buddy, somebody in the comment section has requested me to pull you in as of the urgence. But that ain't the whole story tonight. Obviously, done early after the wreck on the first 5 laps. From your perspective, what did you think took place, or what did you see happen?
First off, I gotta say, sorry I wasn't in here. I completely forgot to get in here. I knew you wanted to pull me in after the wreck, but I kind of forgot, so now you got in here so you could. But I think, honestly, me and James both had damage from the restart because Kenny and Danny didn't realize that we weren't going because I think Ambrose was in the pits. So we both got damage on our rear ends with the spoiler, and I think that James just got loose because of the spoiler damage, and he came down into Kenny, and then Kenny got toned up into me, obviously, and I think I was looking in my mirror, so whenever I was looking in my mirror, I didn't even notice that Kenny got toned into me, and I just didn't have enough time to react to get toned back the other way, so I just hit the wall, and I thought I might have been okay to come back out like maybe 10 laps later, but they didn't put my flag down, so I was done after that. Just wanted to tell you what happened if you didn't see.
Yeah, we were wondering what happened because I was sitting up here thinking to myself, I have never seen a truck get loose like that. Because at first I just thought he made a little bit of an aggressive side draft, went wrong, but look back on the roll bar, you can see where it gets loose and he turns back to the right, try to correct it. But other than that, buddy, I know it was a short night, but you know how it rolls. Is there anybody you want to thank tonight? Friends, family, etc.?
My teammates Kenny, Josh, and Danny was working with us tonight. John for putting on the race, you for broadcasting, and I also got to let you know that I don't know if you are gonna pull Josh or Kenny in, but on the white flag, they both blinked out going into one. That's why that kerfuffle happened.
Okay. I'll keep that in mind. If I pull them in right now, I don't see neither one of them in the chat. But, my buddy, hate to say it, unfortunately tonight, you will finish 15th, but look forward to seeing you in the next few events in the HGR events, buddy. Best of luck to you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Casey Sprinkle has settled for 15th tonight. Right now, I do not believe any more of the top runners are in the chat for the moment. Give them a couple of minutes, see if they want to jump in here. But, folks, that's the finish for tonight. Matthew Lee, your winner. Steve Sizemore just comes up short. We'll go ahead and run through the results. Matthew Lee by 21 hundredths of a second. Second straight night. Second race that I've done Dega Pros in the first time and the second time has produced a photo finish. Steve Sizemore second. Daniel Erbhart the third in third. Joshua McCullough and Kenneth McCullough fourth and fifth. Hunter Hasty, Michael Wingo, Richard Elliott, Joey Masowitz, and Danny Burns. That is your top 10. An up and down night for Garrett Casewell. All he can do is salvage an 11th. But a hell of a performance and not giving up. Ambrose Knievel and John Ward, 12th and 13th. James Waring involved in 2 incidents tonight, finally does it in. And then you just heard Casey Sprinkle involved in the first caution. We'll have to settle both for 14th and 15th. William Rice did not even make a lap. That being said, we'll double check one more time. Well, that being said, still plenty more to come tonight. In about 20 minutes, the MSS Money Racing Series. They're on deck. They will be coming right here at 10 o'clock Eastern in another 20 minutes. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to the Dega Pro Series. And we look forward to seeing y'all tomorrow night and later tonight. Until then, everybody, be safe. Take care.